today and lost $16. My biggest loss in months. Lost $16 today. A reason for why I lost $16 is because I I didn't follow the rules that I set for myself. So one, the I I, I broke rule number one, which is cutting losses quickly. That was the number one rule of Timothy Sykes, and it has been working out very well with saving your resources, saving your buying power. So I broke that rule. So I didn't cut losses that quickly. Two, I averaged down when the trade is going against me. So I have averaged down. That is very bad with, especially with a small account, because by averaging down, yes, you're making your positions you're you're lowering your positions, but you don't know how where the bottom is, because if you average down and the stock continue to go down, now you have a bigger position size, right? Now that I have a bigger position size, if the stock continues to go against me, I will be continuously losing money, even greater than before now. And I average down, especially with a small account. It'd be fine if it was like a very small size, and I'm okay with it if it's like a very small size, and then I can average down that way to like give the stock more time to make its move. But I went with a pretty decent size for my accounts. It went down. I didn't count my losses. I instead I averaged down like 2 or 3 times, and then finally it got halted, and it got halted going down. That was the most emotional part. And yeah, and I sold after the halt. I didn't want to take any more risk and just let it stock go. So yeah, I will be going over my trade chart with YTEN. Overall losses $16. Max position size, like overall average overall position size was like a 95. That was how much shares I was trading today on it. It was like all 95 at once. It was multiple trades, but yeah. And with that, I overtraded. Yeah, I overtraded um on the YTN today, which was quite bad. That overtrading is one of the key factors that made a trader lose like a lot of their money, like blow up in accounts. Like I had to like constantly be remember that one trade does not make my account. One trade can break my account. So that's how it is. One trade doesn't make my account. One trade can break my account. So if I went too big and then didn't count my losses, if it dipped like 50%, uh, like 50%, 20%, 50%, that's like a lot of money on my account. If I actually went like all in. So yeah, today my average percent loss was two two to 3%, but it's still $16 loss overall. So yeah, and that I chased. So I'll be going over my trades right now. So I was watching this stock. It was one gapper from pre-market. It was coming back from the low. So the high that was coming back from was 976, and then it went down to like $7.65, straight down. Yeah, straight down with a couple grains. But if we look at the 5 minute chart, Yeah, if you look at the 5 minute chart, it's basically one, two, three, four candles. So what I when I bought it, I was buying when it was coming back up. Let's see. I was buying it when it was coming back up from the low for my first buy. It was I entered on this yeah, it was breaking VWAP, the volume weighted average price. I entered on the break of VWAP at 20, right? And then with I entered with with 5 shares. That's a small position. So about $40. And if it faked out. It faked out on me. So it did further and it closed at 796. It reopened and I averaged down to like 802. So I added five positions at 801, right? And my average came down to 810. And then it went back up and I got out at 811. And it was constantly going up. So I entered at 819, right? And right as a break VWAP, I sold because it was impulsive really. It, I underestimated it. It was showing sign of weakness like at 8:30. It was coming back from 8:30 right here. Sign of weakness was coming down. It didn't actually break VWAP at all. It's instead it continued to go higher on the next minute, the next minutes and more so. I underestimated it, but still made like 40 cents around here. Like let's see. Yeah, made 40 cents on this trade and then 10 cents on this trade. So that's like 50 cents. And then my trade for right here, I it was going above VWAP, right? So yeah, it was going above VWAP. I entered for a break of this resistance of the A55 resistance. I entered at five shares at A53, and then it was a failed breakout. So I exit A51, which is cutting my losses quickly, which is good. So my trade in pre-market weren't so bad, except that they weren't uh, very good setups. So and then I re-enter again at A57 because it was breaking at 55. Gave it a bit more Give it a bit more time. I averaged down 855. It went down further. I got out 841. I should have just cut my losses there. And then here, it was a very, very quick spike. It was coming back up again, right? And I added 10 shares at 852. And it did a very quick spike to 870, to the 870 area. I tried to get out at 870, but I wasn't able to get executed. So I joined the bid here and just sold at 867, which is like very near the top before actually come crashing down, which was good. But it was a scratch trade, not a very good setup. And another trade was it was coming back. It was coming back up again, right? The 745. I entered 769 with 10 shares. It pulled back a little bit. Enter. It spiked up. it was showing sign of weakness, I sold at 10.75. And then at the market open, it dipped further, and then I got an alert from 10 sites. The alert was on like a potential parabolic play, um, saying that like a buy area was at 710. So it was already too late at 710. So I was thinking of making 710 as my risk when I enter. I enter at 7:48, right? It went further to 781, 782, 781. So I was planning to sell at that area, but then the stock halted. When it got halted, my idea was to sell right away after a on halt because it could spike further, but it could also dip even more because it's a parabolic move. So when it's moved like a upside, like when it move parabolically, it could come down in a parabolic way too. So going up and then going down very quickly, and that's what happened on this ticker. Well, not this ticker, on this candle, this red candle right here. So I tried to sell like 840 fail. So I saw at the bid at 785, which was originally my goal. Not very good risk to reward, but safer than not, especially on a parabolic move. It did further. It dipped down to like $7. The the previous low was 676. So it made a lower high. It made a higher low, right? It went further, and there you have it. My biggest mistakes today. The one that made me lose like $16 because my previous trade on the alert, it was I already made like $4.60. I wanted more. I chased it instead of buying down here when it was looking like a higher low. I chased it up here for a breakout of 820, right? For a breakout of 820 to like 850, right? So I wanted a breakout of that. So I enter it with 10 shares at 822 on this red candle, this little bit of pullback. It later went to 840, 837, 840. I should have sold there right off the bat. I should have sold there because there's resistance at 840, 850. That was the previous high. There was resistance here right now after that parabolic move. Instead, I waited, and then it dipped on me. Didn't cut my losses quickly. It went under VWAP. Instead of cutting my losses, I averaged down and add to my losses. I bought twice on this red candle. It was average as a 75.25, right? I didn't average at the bottom. This is why averaging down is scary. You don't know where's the bottom. That's why it's better to cut my losses. Instead, I averaged down, and it went further down on me. So right now I'm losing more money. And here's the scary part. It got halted at 721. Yeah, that is a dollar loss. That a dollar a share loss from my original buy at 822. A dollar a share loss. I I got out. I sold fishing shares at 721, right? I sold fishing shares there, and then it got halted. It went for when it on halt. My idea was just to get out of this trade right away, just to get out of this trade because I was already like my initial positions wasn't good already. It could rebounce at the $7 area. It could rebounce there. It could go higher. But the idea of the trade is to make it so that I would feel comfortable with my trade. So after it unholds, I sold directly at 723. It it did it did go up like open at like 720 and then a quick spike to 740, but I wasn't able to catch that. And then it did went further down to like the $7 area in 708. I closed at 708 on this candle, and then and then it went back up to like the $8 and 820. It went back up there. Do I regret it? No. What I regret was not cutting my losses and averaging down because that is just digging a hole for myself. It's like very stressful when you're like a halt coming down and you're going long because you don't know that how low it can go. Even though there is support at the $7 area, but it could break support directly on a higher halt because it does scare people out, and it did scare me out. So it went further. It, yeah, so it went back up to $8, but the key point is it was making lower highs each time it went back up. It was making lower high. Let me clear the drawing. See, making lower high. Let me yeah, it was making lower high and higher low. So this showed that the stock was trading very undecisively. It was making a pennant. You don't know when it's gonna break out of that trend or break down of that trend. So let's see. See, it was making a pennant, which is like a triangle. You don't know. You all you know is that's gonna make a higher low and higher and lower highs. So and it did like yeah, a higher low. If I wasn't in so much, I was thinking of maybe I should trade like this bounce. But then I told myself I already lost so much. Why should I put myself through all that stress again? So yeah, after that I stopped trading for the day. I still look at the chart, but I stopped trading for the day. And seeing that it's coming back up to 825, 820 area, eh, I could have if I was to hold it, I could have made back to what I lost, and I wouldn't have lost anything, or just make a tiny bit more gains. But yeah, don't want to put much. So then yeah, it bounced, make a lower high, make lower highs and higher lows. It keep getting choppy here, keep going choppy. But then right here, this part right here, This part, it went from a pennant to a descending triangle. Yeah, it went from a pennant to a descending triangle. It made lower highs, but it's also making constant low. So that's a descending triangle. And then when the triangle did break, it dipped hard. It went from 760 to 727 in 1 minute. It dipped harder and harder and harder, and the stock was never able to come back. It breaks the support at $7, so it's trading at $6, 6.80, and it did even harder. It went even harder. So right now at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, it's currently traded at like a 630 area in the 630 area. So yeah. So my regret was me not me not cutting my losses very quickly. That was I broke that number one rule. Number two is I averaged down. I averaged down. Add more, add to my positions, even though when I'm losing. So I averaged down. That contribute to my position being bigger. That also contribute to my losses being bigger too. I overtraded. I should have just capped my wins. I should just capped my wins because it's a small account. Like I said earlier, no one trade can make your account, but one trade can break your account. If I had went all in at 822 and just let it drop, I could have lost like $100, $200. Yeah, I could have lost that much. Don't know what to do. It's since $100 is like quite big for my account too. Not big for my overall trading career, but it'll be like my biggest losses yet. Biggest, I mean, my biggest, like in these 7 to 8 months. But yeah, I overtraded. I chased it at 822. Should should have maybe buy like at $7 because there is clear support down here, and then just let it just ride it up to like the $8 area. That would be $1 a share. So yeah, today my losses is $16. It's all right though. There's always tomorrow. There's always like tomorrow. Just need to learn from this and don't make this mistakes anymore. What this showed me is that I just need to focus on dip buying because dip buying have clear supports and clear target area. Yeah, for like some for how small my account is, I don't think breakouts would work well for it. I should like focus on dip buying near support area, especially in a panic situation like this. Especially in a panic situation like right here. Yeah, especially in the panic situations, it went down from 845 all the way to like $7. So that is like a 20% dip. Which and there's from previous actions, there's clear support down there. So yeah, my biggest loss in like multiple months. Just need to be more disciplined and trade buy near support if it bounce. So sell by resistance if it failed to crack. Yeah, and that'll be all.